Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Shayna Cersei. I'm so excited to paint with you today. Today we're going to do another page in our watercolor journals, but I don't know about y'all, but every once in a while I get myself into a little bit of a rut where I just don't know what to paint. I don't have a lot of motivation to paint anything particular. Like, I'm motivated to paint. I want to paint. I want to feel that rush of excitement of I'm going to tackle X today, and that's usually how I feel. But sometimes you're just like, ugh, I'm not sure. Kind of like when you're really hungry and you're standing in front of the refrigerator and you open and close the door a million times and nothing is appealing to you. Like, you're hungry, but everything you look at is like, meh. So what I would love from you all is some suggestions in the comments on this video. I am going to paint today, promise. I'm going to do some flowers. I'm just going to do a whole spread of filling up this whole little section here. I even used the bigger tape so that I don't have to fill as much space, but just some roses and petaled flowers and things like that. Kind of the go-to when I really just don't know what to do. I have a flat brush to back up, supplies and materials, Bauhong sketchbook, 140-pound cold press, 100% cotton paper, Core watercolor paints, QOR by Golden. And then I have 3 brushes sitting here today. I have a 1/2 inch flat, I have a 10 round, and a size 3 round. These are all Princeton brushes, Princeton Aqua Elite and Princeton Select. Back to my rant about painting. Leave some comments with suggestions on things to paint, things you would like to see in your watercolor journals, in my watercolor journal. I can't promise I'll paint them all. I can't promise I'll paint any of them. But hopefully it will spark some creativity in me and in my mind and motivation. Or tell me what you're painting. What have you decided to paint lately that isn't something that was on a video? So yeah, let's paint some roses and some flowers. I'm going to try to paint a rose with a flat brush. I never do that because I don't particularly feel like I can, but I see people do it all the time. And then I'm going to paint some roses with a round brush and some other flowers too. Okay, so let's just get into it. Magenta. We'll use magenta. I'm going to add lots of extra water. There's a little yellow in here. There's a little blue in here. It's going to be a funky magenta color. All right, I'm going to start pretty light, I think. And I'm going to start not in the center. So for my rose shape, I'm just going to kind of make, so the center is that, usually I do C shapes, but I can't really make a C shape with my flat edged brush here. So I just kind of poked myself around the center there. And now I'm going to pull some petals out. Okay, this isn't awful. It feels really awkward. So basically I'm just taking what's on the paper and some water on my brush and kind of pulling those petals around each other. That center still feels a little too loose and open for me. All right, not terrible, but I definitely feel like I'm gonna use a little bit darker color. I have to get in here and create some harsher lines somehow. There we go. So just use darker color and I'm adding it to the edges. Anybody out there paint their flowers or roses or feel really confident when painting with a square brush? I mean, maybe I just haven't figured it out yet. It's not awful. It definitely has more of a sharper kind of feel to it. These. All right, I'm going to leave it for now. And we'll come back to it. All right, let's switch brushes. Let's try this with a round brush. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Again, now we're doing the C shapes. There are definitely videos that I've done where I go more in depth on like slower on making, setting up your flower, making the C shape. And building out your roses. So we are close to almost 200 videos. I'm gonna go right off the page with this one. May have gone a little dark over here. For the Watercolor Journal series. And I know my original intention was to get to 365, one for every day. But I don't know that I'm going to make it to that, but I'm definitely going to make it to 200. I might do some replays of older videos for people who are newer, who, you know, when you put an older video out, or you put a video out and then it gets a lot of traction and people like watch it who are following, and then it kind of disappears into the ether a little bit. So I might reintroduce some of the popular ones from the past that have kind of slowed down for people who are newer to be able to find them. So tell me if you've been painting with me for a while. Go ahead and tell me some of your favorite watercolor journal pages or videos from the past that you loved, that you think I should do a replay of. So yeah, very different. They both look like roses, I guess. This one definitely doesn't feel... I wonder if I can save it as great to me. Just feels very unsure, which it is. I am very unsure of how to make these shapes with my brush. Okay, I'm going to leave those. Let's make... I can't leave it. I feel like, all right, let's do a darker like purple color in the center here with my tiny little round brush. All right, now I'm going to leave it. You guys get quirky Shayna today. Who doesn't really know what she's doing. Let's keep painting some other. Let's throw in some other colors. What else do we have on our palette here? I have this beautiful purple color. All right, let's throw another one. Let's try to make some varying sizes. And it's okay to have bad days in your journal. This is one of those days where I would usually paint and not record and just paint through it and have a page where I'm like, I'm not going to show that to anybody. And that's what your journal's for. It's for you. You don't have to show it to anyone. But today I'm giving you a little taste of the pages I don't show anyone. And it will still be okay. I do want to go right to the edges on this. I'm going to make myself, I'm going to overlap some pieces. I'm going to put one here. I'm just waiting for this to dry. Put one right in here. That's going to be behind. I should make myself do another one with this square brush. I feel like it's too wide. Maybe if I used a smaller square, but I've seen people do them with like super big. All right, I'm going to try another one, even though I made this one far too dark in the center. I'm actually going to try to lift out a little color. All right, let's try again. Let's throw a different color in here. Or just a different, here we'll do something with a mix between the two. Not quite pink, not quite purple. All right, I'm going to try right here. And I'm sure it's because I'm trying to do it the same way with the square brush as I do with the round brush, and that's just not going to work. If anybody's seen a great tutorial with the square brush for roses, send it my way. Link it in the comments. Spread the teaching love. Yep. I'm going to let this one dry and then just fix up the edges a little bit. You know what? I'm going to try to put in some, let's do, I'm going to do like some little pink flowers in here with a yellow center, or an orangey yellow center. So I'm going to do a bunch of them right here. But we're going to do super light pink. Well, this is like super light orange. Put in the petals. And I'll drop in the centers. Actually, let's do the centers first. Just trying to remember to space them out enough so we can do clusters of flowers. They can touch each other, but they have to be far enough apart that I can everything doesn't turn into a big blob. even sometimes just the act of painting, even if it's painting something you don't particularly like or care for, just ignites something in your little brain. You can paint quietly or with music, listening to a podcast, and just kind of let your mind wander. I think I've asked this before. What do you guys all prefer to paint to? Like when you're not trying to actively watch a tutorial or paint along, when you're just painting. I love to listen to music. And I have a painting playlist that I go to and add to all the time. I think I'm going to fill in all of these other areas with these little petaled flowers. They're just 5 petals. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a little better. You won't be able to see my palette as much, but I'm basically dipping into those same colors that I already mixed up. A little magenta, a little Diarylide yellow, which is a very warm yellow, almost borders on orange. And then just various shades of that magenta with my size 3 brush. So very light. Just gonna fill in all my cracks and crevices. Maybe I'll add some green poking out somewhere. But I love that these are gonna go like right off the side. It's a page. I'll even do one like right up there. So yeah, if you are still watching, go ahead, and I think that's a good idea. Tell me if you've been here before, if you've seen any of my videos before. If you're new, there are almost 200 additional watercolor journal videos. I'll link the playlist at the end of this video. It automatically brings you, like, the next suggested thing is the playlist of the watercolor journals. And all of the other older videos from the very beginning over a year ago. But tell me your favorites. What did you love? What did you struggle with? Are there any you want me to repaint? But some of them I'll just replay. I'll just re-upload with a new introduction and introduce it to people who are new here, who may have not seen it. And we can revisit. It's always fun to revisit subjects that I've already done and try them again a year later, a month later, a day later. I think I need more on this side now too. I'm going to do a few more, a nice tight little cluster here. And then we're going to add maybe some green bits. Or no, maybe we'll just leave it like this. And you know what? I'm going to change up some of these colors. Letting some of them be a little more orangey, a little less pink. Little petal, little petal, little petal. And I'm not trying to make these little petals perfect. They are all right, we could keep it just like that. Let's add little bits of green. I'm just going to add like little patterned stems in here, just with the little flowers. I'm not going to do any big rose leaves. Should do a whole video where I show you guys all the pages that never made it to camera. A lot of times folks will see a glimpse of a page when I'm painting something else. They'll be like, where is that one? It's like, I didn't. Sometimes they're good and I'm proud of them, but I just didn't record it. And other stuff is just like, oh, it's just, you know, wasn't really for mass consumption. It was just me messing around, not getting a whole lot. And we're almost done, and we'll take off our tape. We got to do this lovely little patterned roses and little forget-me-not type daisy flower. You can definitely go in and add dimension to these little flowers if you wanted to, more layers, or you can leave them pretty flat. I think I'm going to leave mine pretty flat. I'm just going to do a couple to kind of see. Yeah, I could go in and do that, but all right, I'm going to stop here. Just going to finish that. Let's take off our tape. Oh, I did say I was going to go back into this. Rose is looking. This is one of my square roses. Yeah, find me a tutorial on how to do roses with a square brush. I'm just going to go in and define some of the lines here. And blend them out. With my tiny little round brush. They just feel like really chunky, messy to me. And maybe it's because I'm trying to fix them. And that's not working so great. All right, I'm going to leave it. Okay, let's take off our tape. Thank you so much for painting with me today and sticking with the rantings and ramblings that I provided for you. But yeah, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know recommendations for future journal pages. What are you painting in your journal that isn't a planned tutorial necessarily? What also are your favorite videos from the past, from the 170 odd some ones from the Watercolor Journal series that we've already done? All right, y'all, take care. Thanks for painting, and I will see you for our next Watercolor Journal page very soon. Bye.